Shalom, shalom. Bless all of Israel. I was going to do a little thing. I had a little word here. It's talking about Jonah. And I've preached the sermons on it before in the past, many years ago, many times. And I was reading it, sort of studying it a little bit different. I had a couple things pop out to me that didn't pop out to me the first time. So I'm going to read a little bit of it, not a lot. We've all pretty familiar with the story and pretty familiar with the scriptures on it. But First Jonah chapter 1, it's talking about Jonah's disobedience. Is now the word of the Lord came to Jonah, son of Amittai, saying, Go into Nineveh, the great city, and proclaim judgment against it, for their wickedness has come before me. But Jonah ran away to Tarshish to escape the presence of the Lord and his duty as a prophet, right? So it was his duty that the Most High called upon him to send him to go do something. So we all know what happened. Jonah decided to jump ship and go to Tarshish, right? He went to, I think it was Jabus, and found a ship and went to Tarshish. Instead, boat started getting rocky. They threw him out. He got swallowed by a big fish. And then the Most High still, he repented and basically got spit out on the coast of Nineveh. So a lot of times the sermons talk about the disobedience and following after, but some of the stuff that really popped out to me was who was Nineveh worshiping at the time, right? So Nineveh was worshiping a god, which we've seen throughout other texts, named Dagon. So Dagon was a fish god, right? So you have to really put it in perspective that when Jonah got swallowed by this big behind fish, right? Sorry, got a little excited. Big behind fish, and got spit out on the coast of Nineveh that worshiped a big fish, right? The Most High sent him to Nineveh in the exact same thing that if anybody saw him step out of a big fish that got spit out, they're going to believe him in 100% because that's who they worshiped. And when he said, hey, I'm a prophet of the Most High, I guarantee you they stopped and listened. And even the name Nineveh, when you start researching what Nineveh stands for, it stands for the house of fish. Like it's literally the house of fish. So the Most High ended up rescinding Jonah by a fish out of his own disobedience to Nineveh to basically tear down the house of Dagon, which that was their belief system. That was why the wickedness was there, and that's why Jonah was there, was to go proclaim the Most High and the Most High's judgment against them, right? So the Most High delivered him in that same part. And I never knew like who Nineveh worshipped or anything, but coming to grips and understanding, wait a minute, so the Most High spit him out on the bank with a big fish with people who was worshiping fish. So it's more of just out of anything the Most High could have did, right? He could have turned the boat around. He could have just had the ship crash on the shoreline. He could have did all of that, but he delivered Jonah in his disobedience to Nineveh, the fish god people, by a big fish. And but that's the thing about Dagon. A lot of times in life we don't understand like how in a lot of our culture it's mixed with Rome and everything else. When you start really digging into these things and start understanding, as a lot of these deities and a lot of these gods of old has never went away. They've changed their cloaks. They've changed their image to a certain degree. One of the craziest things that I researched about Dagon was their prophets, right? In Dagon, they wore a hat that was in the shape of a fish's mouth, which is literally the same thing that modern Catholics, priests, use every Sunday. Same exact thing to the T. If you look it up, it's pretty well. I might actually try to post a picture and tie it into there. But also too, if you look at the little fish on the back of the car that most people put on the back of their cars, it says, I am a fisherman, and it's got a little fish, right? That symbolism ties back into Dagon. And that's one of the things we have to do as followers of the Most High, is understand that some of this stuff that we have been taught into, some of this stuff that we've been brought up into is wrong. And it's okay to say, hey, this is wrong. We're going to move in the right direction now. And we ain't going to do it this way, right? We ain't going to put a cross on the back of the vehicle because we know Jesus didn't die on a tree. Didn't die on a cross. He died on a tree. He died on a stamos, right? He died on a pole. We know this, right? So why is these symbols so important to us that was here before Jesus, was here before before Nineveh, these symbols has been here over and over and over again, and yet they've been repackaged and redesigned. When the Most High says He don't want any of that. He just wants Him. The Bible says He's a jealous El, right? That means He has ownership over us. So in order for you to be jealous over something, you have to own something. So the Most High owns us, so He has the right to be jealous over us and what we do. And just as Jonah went to tear down the house of fish, or the temples of Dagon, and basically declare judgment of the Most High, we have to do the same thing in our lives, is to declare judgment into our own lives and say, okay, Most High, I may not be over Nineveh, or I may not be over a city, or I may not be over a town, but I am over a house, I am over me, and you dwell in here with me. So if you dwell in here with me, what things am I holding on to, and what things do I have inside of myself that I have to tear down? What things of old that I've brought over from previous religions, previous thought patterns, stuff that doesn't even mean anything to you? What is it that I have in me that I need to tear down to be less of me and to be more like you? I was actually talking to my wife the other day. We was talking about names and the importance of names, and that was a couple weeks ago. And I said, in my life, if no one remembers my name, that's a good thing, because I want people to remember the Most High's name, and to be so filled with the Most High and so understanding of who the Most High is, right? That your name is forgotten and you would be made low and He would be raised up, because that's what it's about. And that's how we tear down those struggles and those strongholds that's inside of our lives, of things that we have brought over. And I hope you got something out of this. When I first read it, I just thought it was amazing how the Most High delivered them to Nineveh to tear down the very, not tear down, to declare judgment over the very house of fish that they were. Bless y'all. If you liked it, give me a like. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down or something. Either way, shalom, shalom.